Hi, everyone. My name's Elizabeth Dendecker, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker and spiritual care coordinator for Sharon Richardson Hospice here in Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin. And as most of you know, our team is always working hard to provide compassionate care and to help to increase quality of life of all those that we serve. And in addition to our usual work, we're hoping to increase our virtual reach to all of you through our new Mindful Moments series. So the other day, I had a phone conversation with my colleague and supervisor, social worker Lee Mitchler, and we were talking about the emotional impact that this pandemic is taking on a lot of people. It turned out we had both actually read the same article that came out through the Harvard Business Review, and it was called That Discomfort That You're Feeling is Grief. And wow, I couldn't find an article that could ring any more true in these unprecedented times. So, as hospice professionals, trust me, we know grief. And we also know that sometimes the first step in tending to our very difficult emotions is simply to name them. So, honestly, for myself, it was a little bit of relief to see that article because I kept thinking to myself, like, this is grief, I'm feeling grief. And certainly a lot of us are experiencing a range of difficult emotions during this very challenging time. And that's totally normal and totally human. So I just want to normalize that for everyone. But today we want to talk specifically about grief and we'll give some context and, of course, some supportive tools to help build resiliency in these unprecedented times that we find ourselves in. So, grief is a deep sadness. It's a natural, universal response to loss. And many times it's specifically related to death, but really it can be loss of anything we're attached to. So right now we're experiencing the grief of loss of thousands of Americans who have already left us, as well as the ongoing anticipatory grief of potentially thousands of more lives to be lost. We're grieving a lot right now. Obviously, death, but also the loss of normalcy, um, numerous changes to our daily routines, not being able to see the people that we usually do, not being able to do the things that we usually do. Schools are closed, stores are closed, families are separated by age or vulnerability, churches are offering online services, traditional rituals like weddings or even funerals are being postponed or reinvented, or even upcoming graduation ceremonies are up in the air or are going to be delivered in a completely different format. And this is a major loss. And these examples are by no means an exhaustive list. Nonetheless, normalcy is lost and it's very heavy and it's a very sad time. Grief is often minimized in our society, unfortunately, and probably because it is a difficult emotion. And it's one that people don't often know what to do with, even with themselves or how to handle other people's pain and grief. And the truth is, we aren't here to make your grief go away, but we are here to help you skillfully ride the waves. So, how do we do this? Talk with one another. Allow one another to express the pain and discomfort you're feeling. Just listening to one another is the greatest gift that we can give each other right now. Of course, we don't want to go on and on about it all the time, but allow yourself some time now and again to be able to recognize and acknowledge and talk about what you're experiencing and how you're feeling going through all these challenging times. Obviously, we don't have to fix it for anyone, but with a little bit of love, some extra support, and maybe a little bit of prayer or meditation, or even just the thought of anchoring into our common humanity together, we can build that resilience and we can remind ourselves that we can get through this together. So, our call to action today is feel the grief, but don't become the grief. Witness it, allow it, and release it and repeat as needed, because it will come and go when you least expect it. It's not something that's just going to be gone and you can just shove to the side. So we provided a link below to the article that I mentioned before, as well as some additional helpful links to some other supportive resources. That's our video for today, and we look forward to connecting with all of you through future posts. Please leave a comment below and let us know how you're tending to your grief in these challenging times. And until then, take good care of you and all your loved ones. And please join us for our upcoming videos where we'll be talking about some techniques to help build our resiliency, such as mindfulness or other grounding techniques. More to come, and thanks for listening. Take care.